Sony makes video games. These video games take the form of discs. Over the years, these boxes have come in many shapes and sizes. And this is something I am going to cover right here, right now. I present to you PlayStation Packaging, a case study. The PlayStation 1 had a whopping 5 case types in Japan. The jewel case, the thick black case, the thick clear case, the multi-case, and the thin case. The jewel case, of course, is the standard, used for music CDs first, worldwide. They are easy to replace and come in two variants, black sides and clear sides, where the game company can use it for some extra flair, or English. The thick black case is the second, or co-first, kind used, as half of the Japanese launch titles were thick black and the other half jewel cases. There apparently was no consistency in mind from the start. America got the jewel case as their standard, at least after they stopped using that big plastic case that nobody liked. The thick black one seems familiar to me as a European, because we got a transparent version of this as our standard. Only now it says PlayStation on the top and bottom, the spine colors were inverted, and a shiny sticker placed on the front along with the PlayStation border. That sticker is almost impossible to remove, by the way. I do not recommend trying it. I hope you're not wondering, as I did before I learned the pretty obvious answer, why there even were two types of cases when both hold just one disc. The simple reason is that the standard jewel case can't hold the thick manuals that some games require. Capcom knows. They tried, with mixed results. Speaking of multiple discs, the typical multi-case is the only one common to all three regions, and it can hold 2 to 4 discs. Some games like Tokimeki Memorial 2 had more, so it got 2 cases inside a paper sleeve. The multi-case has the title written on the spine twice, which is a little annoying for shelf symmetry, but oh well. Japan got a second kind of multi-case, however, the thick clear case. This one has space for a thick manual and holds 2 discs. What it doesn't have is a feature that the other 3 cases had, the game's title on both sides. In fact, many Japanese games have the title in Japanese on one side and in English on the other, which can be very convenient when looking at games in a store, where they're usually not put on the shelf with the cover facing forward. Capcom colored parts of the spines according to genre, and Namco had the PlayStation area in purple instead of black, except for Time Crisis Project Titan, which was blue. The 5th case is the thin one that the PS1 books games were re-released in. These only have a front cover slip and no spine at all. I don't own any of these. One thing particularly Japanese with the PlayStation 1 and also the Saturn were the spine cards. These would go over the case but under the plastic, and once opened, they fill no purpose other than spicing up your eBay listing. I have 15 of them, but only one that came from one of the thicker cases. Another common thing to accompany a Japanese game is the survey card, where you fill out why you bought the game, how you heard of it and such. Not very useful today, but still. Let's move on to the PS2 now, and with the switch from CDs to DVDs, mostly, many early games still came on CDs, the cases also switched. The typical PS2 case is a DVD case with a nifty place to hold a memory card that I'm sure up to 10 people worldwide ever used. Later on in the system's lifespan, the memory card holder got removed, both in Japan and Europe, probably North America too. Japanese and American cases were black, and Europe's were too, but only for a little while until they switched over to blue. Europe also got very uniform and consistent spines, unlike the other regions, of which opinions are divided between it being extremely boring to being very clean and kind of stylish. Also note that the PlayStation symbol rests on a black background unlike the white of the others. I think I prefer the black background, personally. I like the PlayStation border being up top rather than bottom or side now, but why did Europe's cases have to be so inconsistent about the font size? Now we all know how the ESRB rating system was founded after Mortal Kombat and Night Trap and whatnot in the 90s, but there was kind of a ratings renaissance in the early 2000s, when PEGI replaced ELSPA in Europe, though the UK continued with their BBFC ratings. Japan didn't even have a rating system until 2002, when Zero was introduced. This messes with one's shelf a bit, because while at first the ratings icon was put on the front, once they changed from ages to letters A to D in 2006, they started putting them on the spine, color-coded even. The PSP comes next, and since it didn't follow a certain music or movie format but created its own, it also got to introduce its own case type, and it's basically a less wide DVD case. Since it came out before the Zero revision, earlier games don't have the rating on the spine, and the overall design was made to resemble the PS2 with the white PlayStation icon and all. I'll get back to the PSP in a second, but for chronology's sake let's talk PS3 now. I remember hating the original PS3 case design, with its unnecessary empty part up top, Spider-Man font on the side, and most of all the black number 3 on the spine on a red background. Ew. Since then I've gotten used to the empty part, and thankfully they redesigned the case in general in time for the re-release of the PS3 Slim, which moved the PlayStation 3 branding on the front from the side to the top where it looks much better. And the spine got a much better looking PS3 part. The red 3 still annoys me though, because I have one game like that on my shelf and it sticks out like a sore thumb. And then back to PSP. Their cases were redesigned in a similar way, at least on the spine. The front always had the sense to have the PSP border on top and not on the side. I don't have any Vita games, but it also had its own case, a small one, and the blue overdose would influence the PS4, which is a nice design if I do say so myself, but that could be just because I like the color blue. Finally there's the PS5, which is just like the PS4 but black and white like the console, which is a design choice I like, but why did Sony have to wimp out halfway? Where's the shiny black case? I can understand not wanting to distance themselves too much from the PS4, but come on, everyone eats up whatever Sony does, the PS5 is going to rule the market too. Well, maybe with the inevitable future redesign, they'll go full out on the cases too. And that's all I've got. Thanks to Sony sticking to plastic cases, their games are easy to collect and look good on bookshelves. I hope you enjoyed this trip down Nerd Lane, and I'll see you next time.